actually wanted to talk to you a little bit on that one. I've obviously had a bit of a look around, and that Zuma wanted to sue you, or did sue you, and all this sort of stuff. What interests me, firstly, on that one is, the artistic way how things happen, the process. As an artist, you read the newspaper, you read something that you think, well, this is interesting, I must do something with it. And from our side now, we look at it, and it's a brilliant drawing, with the Lady Justice, the rape. But, obviously you had, say, a blank paper in front of you, and you had to come up with something.
Yeah, well, look, I'm duck behind me. I wonder if I've got 2008 here. Probably not, but it doesn't really matter. This is my process. Well, I'm sitting here, so this one, at least one of the cameras, maybe both, will be recording the fact that here's stuff on my desk, which often would be newspapers. When I'm sitting, I would have that radio on. It's an ancient radio. I've got a lot of ancient things in here. I should replace it though. I'd have the TV on. I'd be scrolling through something on my phone or on the computer, and at the same time I'll have this little book open. So my head is a strange combination of all these things, and I'll have this little book will be open, and it often starts with words. I start with concepts rather than with ideas for jokes or with drawings. I'll start by trying to say, well, I might actually, maybe that's not even the best example, because that's already a developing thing. Where did I write the subject? Okay, here. I'll start. This is something like King Goodwill's Velatini. Okay, so it was taken out of context. A spokesperson took him out of context. It's just, so I start to think, well, what was the context that he was taken out of? And I start writing. That's what happened here. I'm just picking a random thing. Start writing the context of somebody who is clearly out of the context of what we would consider modernity. He's stuck in in the kingdom mentality where you can do anything and get away with it. Essentially, that was it. So whatever the circumstances, King Goodwill and I start going into the thing of, and gradually this sort of all his subjects start pitching up in the drawing, and he's there, and it was. So I don't have the final drawing here, so that one's going to be a little bit of a but so that's how I work. It's
very work together.
Yeah, here this was Dudumiyeni, SAA, working together with Zuma. This is when Nhlanhla Nene got fired as finance minister.
Okay.
So, and I had at that stage it was very clear that Zuma and Dudumiyeni were very close. They still are. Whether they're actually having an affair, some people say they're having an affair. So and Zuma fired him. So I wish I had the final drawing here, but if we're in Nhlanhla Nene is driving this little car, I start getting this idea. He's driving a car. He gets Zuma's the wrecking ball, and Dudumiyeni is the sort of Miley Cyrus character riding on. So I start getting that notion of a junkyard, and then gradually that becomes something. The frustrating thing is I often have drawings that are
multiple
fully
books as
that are where they end up, where you actually see the final drawing almost. Here's one. So anyway, this is a Christmas thing. I'm trying to think of Zuma and Christmas and all his ministers, and the idea that nobody believes in Santa Claus anymore, and people don't believe in Zuma anymore, and and gradually that develops, and then then I get a drawing like that. I'll put that on my photostat machine, then I'll do a color version, and then that was ultimately the final version of that would be quite close to this. How long can we keep this? No one believes in him anymore. And that famous line, instead of the he instead of the ho ho ho, and then that becomes a a full concept. A full
so
concept.
you integrate a lot of the folklore, that makes sense in that instant together. And
absolutely. So it would be, there's that combination. As a cartoonist, I'm on the one hand looking for the actual events. That's all this is, absorbing actual events, and I'm siphoning things out of that to make something new. Of course, I'm always looking for what the vehicle will be. The vehicle, or the metaphor, or is it something that's very verbal? Is it something that's very visual? Is it a joke? Is it something savage? Is it a parody of an advert or a movie? Or is it a classical allusion? Even the Lady Justice figure is a classical thing that we get from the Romans and even before that from the Greeks. But you were asking about that Lady Justice cartoon. That was an interesting one, because I've been drawing Lady Justice I've been drawing that figure of justice which wasn't hugely popular in our cartoons. Lady Justice in overseas cartoons, yes.
Yeah.
But in our cartoons in South Africa, not so much. Justice holding the scales and a sword, and of course with the mask. But I had already in 2008 for maybe 12 years been doing the figure of Lady Justice as a black woman, or somebody who looks like she's South African, right? And so when in 2008, when I saw that Zuma was abusing the justice system in the way that he was, I must have said the phrase to myself, he's raping the justice system. And then I remember getting this shock. Lady Justice is a woman. Justice is how we think of justice, how we draw justice is a woman. Raping Lady Justice. And I remember, even thinking, getting a shock when I drew that rough. And the idea of other people holding her down, like a gang rape situation. Because that's a shocking image. And it also mirrors some of the patriarchal violence that we see in the country, and that Zuma is a part of. So it all came together in that one image. Not only that, but there were obviously the issues about Zuma having been through a rape trial, and of course he was acquitted. But many people feel that he was quite lucky to be acquitted. And so there was that in fact wasn't the core of the drawing, the fact that he'd been involved in that. Because that's something literal, and this was something figurative, metaphorical, allegorical. Lady Justice is a metaphorical figure, therefore it couldn't be literal. And that was an important part of my defense when the trial was being prepared.